All right, good evening. Link in the description. All right, so here we go. And this is not surprising. ICE agents detain a U.S. citizen, and they're saying it's racial profiling. Let's get into this. When U.S. citizens are being detained, okay, let's try to make sense of this as to why they're detaining U.S. citizens. Is it because, they look a certain way, or is it because they're interfering? All right, let's see what's going on. Heavily armed masked officers. And why are they even fucking masked? That's what I'd like to know. I know I've been seeing shit, where I guess police have to be unmasked. I know this is like the fucking reverse of 2020, right? But let's get into this. Okay, Ventus food. Okay. They're going after people who looked Hispanic in any way. It arrested 2 people at this one. They're facing deportation. And they said they're okay. Another witness said agents were asking where they were from. He was from the United States, and then they walked away and took a picture of him. So I'm just trying to see. Okay, yeah, they've targeted day laborers, out of home warehouse workers. So yeah, I mean, they're going to job sites where people are working and rounding them up, as opposed to the so-called, gang members or whatever. And they sent the National Guard to LA to respond to protests. In California, suing to stop deployment. Okay. Immigration actions. All right. So they detained a specific individual. You can read it yourself. So he's a U.S. citizen. He's American. He was released. And another one was detained, where he's remained in custody. Now, again, it's mainstream media. So you got to take a step back and analyze this stuff. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume that this is actually true. In this Iceland's community, and of course, the man is also Hispanic, in their racial profile because of the way they look. And that basically goes against the Constitution. And proper law and order. Due process. There has to be due process for them to actually be able to detain somebody. But then again, look at what's going on. Okay. People are not going to work, and I'm not talking about, the immigrants, it's getting pretty bad when people who are U.S. citizens and, they look a certain way. I'll use, Hispanic in this case because, that's the bulk of it. They don't want to fucking leave their house. Something's really wrong. Are they actual real ICE agents? And that begs the question: Are they real? Are they actually real ICE agents? And like I said in some of my previous video, people are just gonna have to fucking buckle down and unite. And you may just have to unite with people who initially voted for Trump and have regret. You may just have to talk to those people. I mean, it might suck, but the more people you can get, the better off you'll be. But yep. You know, what are the companies going to do that, you know, hire these people? You know, how are they going to fucking generate revenue? Yeah, I know. In some other video I talked about, you know, a commenter, you know, left a comment of, you know, California, Oregon, and Washington should form, you know, should secede from the U.S., form their own country. You know, maybe become part of Canada, or just form their own country. I don't know if that'll happen, but anyhow, yeah, this is some fucked up shit. I'll talk to you.